If you're a business owner or entrepreneur and you find yourself with contacts that, people who contact you for your products or services that are not in line with the kind of people that you really want, then that could be an indication that you need to go back and revisit what some people in marketing call it your avatar, to see who your target audience really is, who's your target customer. But I like to look at it in a different way. And I like to think about who your ideal client is. Who is that person? Now, we go back to the same concept about the avatar. This is a concept that people would talk about some years ago. They still talk about it today. And it just simply means that you really need to know everything about that person that you really want to serve. How old they are, where they live, what kind of lifestyle they have, what kind of family they have, what they do for a living, how much money they make, all that kind of stuff. That's all really important to know. But I like to look at it also, going a little bit deeper, which is something that I did. And I wanted to share this with you because I made a little mistake some years ago. Probably about 5 years ago, I kind of woke up and changed it again and had it evolve. And that is, I asked myself, because I was finding that I had people contact me who they always wanted to negotiate about the money, about how much my service cost. I just found that they were people who, when I did start to work with them, sometimes they didn't finish the program. I just wasn't really satisfied with this. I wasn't satisfied having to work so hard to get these people. And then once I finally did get them, they didn't finish the program. And then I thought, well, maybe part of it could be me, it could be the program itself. But I also said that over the years, I did work with some people who did follow my program. They did finish the program. They didn't ask me to negotiate very much about how much the program cost. And they also had some other characteristics. So I listed those characteristics, which is an exercise that I would strongly suggest that you do if you haven't done this before. So I started listing. I looked at all my customers and I said, what characteristics do they have? And so I said, these are people who pretty much the same age as me. These are entrepreneurs that have companies that have really good family values. There are people who invest in themselves. They realize the value of training and development and personal growth and professional growth. They invest not only in themselves, but they also invest in their employees. They're open-minded. They're coachable. They're people that I like being around. They're people that I have things in common with. And so I started to, think about that. I said, that's a good part of my avatar. And so I started to communicate in a marketing sense. I started to communicate more with people like that. And I started to mention those things in my marketing. And so that helped somewhat. I started to get more people, but the difference wasn't as big as I had hoped it would be. So I still got those kind of people. I still got people who wanted to, negotiate a lot. I still got people who didn't finish the programs. I just didn't feel like they were really the right kind of people for me. So then I took a course, and this is something else I would highly recommend that you do, is that, study. Work on yourself. Work on your personal development, your professional development. If you're here watching this video, that's a good step. But, go further. Stay with me, click the subscribe button, because I have a whole lot of stuff, and I'd like to be really, really practical. I'll give you some really, really practical tips and advice about how to do certain things, how to communicate effectively with your employees, how to create employees that are more problem solvers and proactive, and how to use questions. And I have so many different things to say. But at any rate, I took a course, and in this course, I was made to realize that you need to go deeper. So I did this exercise again some years later. I listed all my customers, and I just started thinking. I said, okay, they have those qualities that I mentioned before, but what else do they have? Who are the best customers that you've worked with? Who are the customers that you not only had those qualities there that you really like to be around, like to work with, and you got really great results for? What other qualities do they have? And so I started to look deeper, and I came up with a new list. And this list is the family-run businesses. Second generation family-run businesses. So it's not the founder, it's not the 70-year-old founder of the company who contacts me. It's his kids who are now around 45 to 55 years old. And very oftentimes, they don't get along. They love each other, they're blood, but they don't have the same alignment with regard to how to run the company on a day-to-day basis and where to take the company in the future. They're not aligned with that. And usually one of those people is really sick and tired of it because they say, every day I go to work and I have to fight with my own brother, with my own sister. You know, it's just getting to be exhausting and I just don't want to do this anymore. The other person also realizes they didn't have the initiative to contact me because this person did. They didn't have the initiative to contact me, but they're in agreement. And they realize that something needs to be done because it's not fun for them either. They also know that they're thinking about retirement because they've been working so hard and they're working so much and they realize that they're working too much, that there's got to be a better way. And the reason that they're working too much is because roles and responsibilities aren't clear, because they don't have a managerial style of managing the company. They're still running it as a family-run business and it's not working anymore like it used to. And they realize that they need to make some changes, but they don't know how to make those changes. They know they need to clarify roles and responsibilities, create processes, job descriptions, standard operating procedures. They have no idea how to do that stuff, and they need help. And they realize they need help. They also want to bring in the next generation into the company. But they know that in order to do that, which is something else they don't know how to do, they also know that they need to create some order inside the company. And they need help doing all this stuff. And so I thought, wow, man, that's great. Having that clarity is so cool because not only did they have those high level qualities that I looked at, you know, people that I like to be around, family values, people that I have things in common with, stuff like that, but they have those specific things. And so what did I do? I started to create a video. Now I live in Italy, and this is where I've been practicing because that's another thing that I did after I decided to leave the corporate world. I decided to live in Italy. I speak Italian fluently. I do a lot of work here in Italy. So what I did was I created an ad that I put on Facebook. I shot the video vertically, but I created the ad horizontally. So on one side of the video was me, and then on the other side, the other 2/3 of the screen was white with these check boxes, right? All I did was mention each one of these qualities on the video. Family-run business, second generation, run by 2 or more members of the family that don't get along, that are getting ready for the next generation, 45 to 55 years old. I did all this stuff and just put it up there. And then I said at the very end, if this is you, click on the link here below, and I have a free training that I set up for you that takes you through 7 things that you definitely want to know in order to resolve some of these problems. And I also gave these people the possibility to book a call with me. And so now, whenever these people book the call, I know that that's who I'm going to be talking to. And I know that if I'm talking to these people right here, there's a really good chance, not only can I close the deal, but also that I'm going to be able to help them. And I'm not going to be spending a whole lot of time talking about how much it costs, you know, because I know that they're open-minded because they have these qualities, these other qualities that I mentioned before. You see what I'm saying? So I just wanted to kind of give you a little food for thought, a little piece of advice about what you might be able to do to find your ideal client. What I would strongly recommend to kind of sum it up is that you sit down and make a list of all the things that your ideal clients, all the customers with whom you've worked over the years that you really like to work with, who have money, who really follow what you tell them to do, who are coachable, who love your products or services. Some of the first people who would be more than happy to give you a great testimonial. Who are they? What kind of qualities do they have? And don't stop like I did about just the personal qualities, but think about their businesses. Think about how they run their businesses. Think about their pain points. Think about the things that they desire more than anything else. Think about what their ultimate goals are. Think about those things, list those things out, and then when you start doing your marketing, you're going to find out if you market to those people, you're going to find that you're going to get some much more targeted people. And those are going to be really your ideal clients that you're going to love to work with. And they're going to give you a great deal of satisfaction. So like I always say, I'm not here to tell you what to do, just to give you some idea. Hope this was helpful. Click subscribe, leave me a comment. Tell me what you're thinking, if there's any other topics that you would like to see me talk about, and at any rate, I'll see you in the next video.